Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Thank you for gifting me your most valuable currency, your time and your energy. So there's a lot to say about this retrograde, given the layers it has with Mercurial Geminian energy as well as Mars energy in general, and its length of period happening over a very socially and communicatively more chaotic time of year globally, with all the holidays that we have from Halloween and Dia de los Muertos and Thanksgiving for those of us in the US and US expats and Christmas, all the New Year's festivities globally, Hanukkah, Diwali, equinoxes, solstices, and so on and so forth. So, couple that with natural disasters and weather changes and continued issues impacted by the pandemic over the past few years with supply chain and travel, it will be a lot, okay? And it may affect many, not just those with, heavy aspected Gemini in their chart, okay? It'll affect everyone around you too, so keep that in mind. And yes, I will pull whatever spirit guidance we need. So take what resonates for you, as this will be a general collective, and we're all in different timelines. So I'll do my best to be as thorough as possible. If I have to pull every deck, I will. Just so everybody has something that they can work with during this time, okay? And you may need to come back to this video in a month or 2 months or 3 months because it is pretty lengthy, okay? As a result, this video will be longer, so bear that in mind, but I will try to keep it concise. I can already tell preparation and prevention will be key, along with extra grounding, healing, chakra light work, and going within practices, okay? All right, so here we go. Put your seatbelts on. The gist of the research is as follows. Mars will retrograde in the sign of Gemini from October 30th, 2022 to January 12th, 2023. It will have a 14-day-ish shadow side on either side of the equation. Since we're already in it, and I'm late with this energy assessment, I will focus on what we need to know going forward, okay? The next Mars retrograde, note this, after this one, is from December 6th, 2024 to February 23rd, 25, okay? In the signs of Leo and Cancer. I believe it starts in Leo, ends in Cancer, because, it's a retrograde. It goes backwards, right? It flips. Mars retrograde occurs less frequently than Mercury does, as does all the other planets. Mercury is the closest to the Sun and makes its trip around the Sun more often in relationship to Earth and other planets. So there's more frequency in retrogrades with Mercury, right? 3 to 4 roughly every year to be exact. Mars sits between Earth and Jupiter orbitally, so it takes longer than the Earth by a slight to get around the Sun. Mars energy has significant impact on energy. When it goes retro, Mars appears to be moving backward in the sky when it doesn't. Retro station direct cycles are essentially illusions that result from our point of view from Earth, simply because the Earth is also orbiting the Sun at a different speed than the other planets. Mars is retrograde is approximately 58 to 81 days every 2 or so years. Okay, so that's good to know. This means a shift in our powers to manifest. And it also means the last Mars retrograde was in the age of Pisces. We are now in the age of Aquarius. So factor that as well. Faster energy, more intense energy. It's going to be intense on intense on intense, basically. It's just super layered, okay? When Mars goes retrograde, its karmic position for a soul level, again, spiritual body, not to be confused with ego or mental body, although it does affect the ego somewhat in interpreting what is causing this energy to those not connected to higher self, okay? Asserting yourself vigorously and directly is complicated by the fact that you had a prior lifetime or lifetimes, plural, in which aggression was either misused, either by you or against you, okay? Or around you even, okay, because that does affect you as well. Like, let's say it's, I don't know, a parent who's dealing with another parent or a friend or something that will affect you as a child because you're around your parent and relying on them as a child. And that could be this lifetime, past lifetimes, etc. And All personal initiative and self will was insistently discouraged, perhaps due to an ego based belief system that advocated passivity, okay? In any case, the message that was impressed upon you was that forceful action is wrong or dangerous. Thus, if you stand it up for yourself, you now tend to hesitate, back down, or even be plagued with fears of retaliation, all reinforcing illusions karmically and cyclically for multiple lifetimes and generations created by ego, not soul, right? This is energy that just carries over, kind of gets dumped in our subconscious bank, and it resurfaces in new energies in this lifetime, okay? When we live life a little differently, we do live life a little differently when Mars is retrograde, okay? Retrograde Mars wants us to reassess current projects and passions, our approach to getting what we want, and our desired nature. Rather than directly assert our wants, we tend to keep our desires to ourselves, and we're more introspective or roundabout. Mars energy essentially turns inward. It's internalized, intensified, personalized, and perhaps pressurized. We can be hesitant about taking action, second guessing our instincts or natural impulses rather than acting upon them. When anger is internalized, there can be some rather challenging byproducts such as tension, resentment, depression, apathy, and even some paranoia. Illusions of which can be avoided and prevented with a perspective shift towards the positive. On another level, we can make it more personal and intimate with some effort. Our goal during a Mars retrograde period should not be to simply sit on our impulses or squelch our enthusiasm. Instead, it should be better to understand our impulses, motivations, our instincts, anger, sexuality even, inner courage, and the ways we pursue what we want from life. Now, the sign of Gemini affects the retrograde as far as effective communication is compromised or concerned. While Mars is retrograde, in the Mercury ruled sign of Gemini, passive aggressive communications can be prominent. There can be some stalling of intellectual and mental initiatives. The nice, nasty responses are more active and come solely from ego and usually stemming from illusory narratives of sorts. This can show up more often through any form of communication, such as what is affected by a Mercury retrograde, and may produce impatience with those methods as well. We might sometimes stew in anger, not easily finding a direct or straightforward channel for releasing it. This is a time for really getting in touch with what we've been accepting on the surface of things, but that has been building inside as emotional slush. Okay? Health issues may be a factor, especially in areas ruled by Gemini, including the lungs, and accidents are slightly raised possibility through the Mars retrograde period, so be careful. Gemini governs the arms and hands, but internally it rules respiration, which can be more vulnerable. So pay attention to breathing and calming exercises and air hygiene at this time more so than usual, okay? Mars retrograde in Gemini can return us to previous mental interests as well, past studies, old neighborhoods, even old devices, phones, and means of communication or transit. So for those who have experienced an awakening and is going through ascension, there is a tendency to go back asleep, so to speak, and attempt to return, or at least the desire to the ego that existed before its dark night transition and upgrade. So be wary of erring on your south node versus your north node, okay? So try to keep an even balance. Look at your south node as an example, right? What can you learn from it? And everyone's south node placements are going to be different. So pay attention to that. So if it's in Gemini, it'll probably be especially pay attention, okay? Or North Node Gemini, pay attention, okay? Things can get a little wonky. We might overthink tactics and strategies for action during this period. Factoring in too much information can hamper our plans. Paralysis by analysis. Distraction is a problem. Mars retrograde in Gemini can be a time of more pronounced fidgeting, boredom, and skipping steps. There can be much in the way of going over or redoing old arguments in our heads. Taming impatience, focusing on grounding techniques, especially with anything where we work with our hands or breath work, and recentering perspectives, eliminating karmic distractions, and going within more so during this time will assist in getting through this energy. This is especially the time to flip the thought, okay, and reassess old ways of handling issues of the past in a balanced manner to avoid the trappings and aggressions of ego while upgrading self to a new level. This will be a particularly tricky retrograde only because of its timing with regards to the activities of society that are happening during this time, socially, holidays, for example, as well as what is happening globally with the environmental changes Gaia is experiencing at this time. So, overall, collectively, it's going to be total chaos energetically, okay? And we just have to be mindful. If you're feeling out of sorts but nothing has changed in your environment, chances are it's something external to you. So be mindful of that, okay? It's easy to think, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? Oh, wait, no, it's the energy of people around you and situations around you that's getting a little, what? Okay? What is going on? It's chaos out there. It's madness. All right. There will be more layered circumstance where energy experience will be varied, and so few will know how to navigate it, awakened or asleep, okay? As energy can get complicated and everyone is on different timelines, had different things going on energetically at different phases of karmic cleanup, if at all, and so forth. So we will see how Spirit suggests what we should be aware of, focus on, and such during this time, okay? This energy will behave faster and more intensely. Mars is fast energy in general. And in retrograde, it could feel like it's being pulled in a way to last longer. It'll feel like it'll drag on with constant changes, basically. It'll feel like total chaos, but that would be an illusion, right? It'll only seem that way. Staying grounded and seeing things transparently will be key in general, as those around us will more than likely not be doing that, okay? So, Christmas shopping, for example, large family feasts, New Year's Eve celebrations, festivals and festivities and crowds, and so forth, may have issues, okay? What happened with the Halloween celebrations in South Korea is a prime example of this energy, which occurred in the shadow side, cuspy start of the retrograde. It won't be the last, okay? So be mindful and stay safe out there, okay? Especially if you're going to be around crowds, traveling, or doing anything on a schedule, all right? All right, so give me a moment here to switch rooms. I'll pause and we'll pull some guidance specifically for the collective of what Spirit wants us to know regarding this retrograde and what to be aware of and any guidance on how to navigate it, okay? All right, let us continue. I do need a little bit more light here, so give me a second. Hopefully this will be all right. More natural light. Turn on the ring light. All right. Is that better? That looks better. All right, so we'll go ahead and I think we're going to use all the dice, okay? Just so we have some sort of where to place the energy may go, right? Like in terms of the location of your energy in your life, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get some house placements, and you can check your chart for that. All right. So we got the 10th house. I think I'm going to stick them down here, okay? We got the 4th house. We got the 5th house. And we got the 7th house, okay? So those would primarily be the most important to focus on. All right. Let's get our planetary placements as well. Spirit, where's this energy going to show up? All right, we have the South Node. Why is that not surprising, huh? All right. Your star sign, your sun sign, your placement. And we have North Node, also not surprising. Okay. And Saturn. Ooh, that makes total sense. Saturn kind of rules everything tangible and spiritual, so it's like a crossover energy, right? Okay, so let's pull a couple from past life or as an identifier of the areas that will be affected in life. And then I'll pull some, let's do the zodiacs. We'll also do zodiacs as well. So anywhere in your chart, okay? Focus on this as well. This should cover a lot of folks. We have Scorpio placements. We have Libra placements. We have Aries placements. And Sagittarius. So we already have 2 fire signs, okay? Hopefully that shows up decently. All right. So let's pull a couple from Past Life Oracle. Where else in our lives, Spirit, will this energy affect? We should be mindful of. Please and thank you. For whomever this will resonate for, whenever the time is divine, please and thank you so much. We'll get one more. Ooh, we got 3 more. Okay. So, first one out, we have travel, of course, because of Mercury and communications and such, right? Okay, leaving, travel. Money matters. Okay. Anyone living in communal situations with a lot of people in any circumstance. Can't even get it to focus. Focus. All right, we'll figure that out in a minute. All right. Creative endeavors, the arts, okay? Might affect a little bit of that. And we have Egypt here. So I'm kind of actually feeling this is more about heritage, family, connections. Perhaps this is more going to affect spiritually. Maybe there's some kind of aspect from the culture of ancient Egypt or even modern Egypt as well. That might be resonant for somebody out there. This might only be affecting 1 or 2 of you, okay? So there may be a lesson there with maybe, a deity or something, or a pharaoh that maybe you would have connection to. All right. And for me, I'm connected to Isis. So Isis definitely had interpersonal relationship issues, right? She had a high-level soulmate, and then her son was the king, and her high-level soulmate, Osiris, had issues with his brother, okay? Stemming from a lot of jealousy. So it could be something like that, okay? All right, so let's pull a few, maybe 5, 6. Let's get a lot more. We'll do that from our old school tipper here. Unnatural Spirit. 5 or 6, something like that, please. Thank you. All right, I'm seeing emotions on deck. And one more. Ooh. False person and thievery came out at the same time. So let's hold on. All right. Let's get a couple more. There's our money again. That's the confirmation. I'll read off the numbers too in case it might be significant to you. All right. I do want to do one more. A couple of these came out in pairs. All right, here we go. The first one out that came out is Rich Girl. So that could be a person in your life, okay? Perhaps someone younger than you, a feminine energy, perhaps, I'm not really getting spoiled brat energy with it, but it could just be somebody that's well-to-do, right? So, and it doesn't necessarily mean they have like high wealth or anything, but maybe they're more, well-to-do is just like better to say that, but it is also number 12, 3, okay? So that could just be representative of a person, right? Or the energy of it, maybe some, I don't know, vapidness, vainness, superficiality, something along those lines, okay? The next 2 that came out were Grief and Sorrow, 32, which breaks down to a 5, and Sad News, 14, also breaks down to a 5. So there's some transition here energy as well. And with both of these together, that's your emotions, dwelling in negative emotions, right? Or somebody around you, remember. The energy can go a lot of different ways here. The next two that came out were false person and thievery. 8 and 24, which breaks down to a 6. So this is definitely, people just being fake or inauthentic or stealing, cheating, lying, that sort of thing. Just being deceptive in general that you may have to be on the lookout for, because that energy may be increasing during this time, okay? Anything having to do with your finances, confirmation, number 27 breaks down to a 9. And I think we could stick that there. I know there's a bit of glare. Let me fix that. And it's only mildly better. Okay, you get it. Number 34 breaks down to a 7. Occupation, that can also include your hobbies and things you enjoy doing, right? So just be mindful of that. There may be some chaotic energy regarding that. So if that happens, flip the thought, flip the script, do something else, right? All right. Let's get a couple from the Life Purpose Oracle. And thank you, Spirit. What else do we need to know? What other circumstances? Okay, that's good. Got 3. First one out. Nutrition. Here's your health. Okay. Healing work with culinary skills, but also just good nutrition for yourself. And I think we'll stick that there. Again, with the creative. Okay, you have artist here. See any other keywords here? Engaging in artistic activities is beneficial. So maybe flip things up, and that's where the occupation card can come in handy as well. Then you also have books. Maybe there's some learning, okay? Or writing or something along those lines, okay? So those would be very helpful, and you can combine that together. Maybe you're going to put together, that would be really cool to put together a cookbook or something. All right. That's what I'm seeing with all 3 of those cards. So that could be an option as well. So we'll pull a few. I'm going to fill out this bottom line here of Lenormand's. I did combine the Gypsy Witch and the Bluebird again. It's like subconscious to do that. All right. So let's get a few. We'll fill out a few spaces. Anything else? Any other situationals we got going on, Spirit? Where this energy may show up, please and thank you. All right. We're not doing a spread, so I'm just going to, whatever keywords are on the card, we'll do. Let's do a couple more, please, Spirit. And the numbers may be significant as well. So, we got a feminine water sign here, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Number 23 brings down to a 5. This has a lot to do with a rich and happy marriage, or perhaps disappointment in love, so love matters. And I will stick that, there, because, the rich girl. Okay. The next one you have is the 10 of Cups, which signifies family, marriage, home, okay? You have number 18, breaks down to a 9. This is all about a friendship, okay? Loyalty and friendship, okay? So maybe platonic matters. That could be another thing as well. It's a bit of a mess. All right. We also have number 2 here. That's the 5 of Cups, regrets. The moon is also about your intuition and emotions. This one also predicts good fortune, okay? Or has something to do with your fortune or exposure of secrets, okay? So that may not be your secrets, but, maybe people might be more likely to gossip at this time, right? You also have number 28. That brings down to a 10. There might be some endings. You have the 5 of Pentacles here. Bit of insecurity and lack mindset, okay? Might be around you at this time. But successful ventures in business and love, or it could be breaches of trust, could be possible, especially since it is near the dog, but we're not doing the placement, okay? And fidelity of the one you love, okay? So fidelity, loyalty, love, relationships, that kind of thing. And success in business, fortune, got some good things as well. Secrets. We also have number 41, beauty and health as well. It will be another area. The 9 of Swords is all about having, sort of mental imprisonment. So there may be individuals who are likely to have that poverty mindset. The 5 of Pentacles create crises, right? Roses might also be significant as well at this time. We have number 11. That is the Page of Wands. So, oh shoot. Cancer, Leo, Virgo. Okay. There could be some strife. Okay. There could be, arguments amongst domestic issues. So it definitely does feel more like this is a lot of domestic issues. Okay. Quarrels and that sort of thing. Insecurities. Stick you right there. And last but not least, we have number 44. This might have ill luck, but it could be a death of a friend as well. And it could also just be external to you, a friend of a friend dying kind of situation. You have the Eight of Pentacles there indicating healthy work standards, diligence, making sure you get things done, working hard, okay? So switch it up if you need to at this time. Let's stick that right there. I'm going to go ahead and pull a Moonology or two. What space do we have? Because we're also going to pull some Oracle, okay? Alright, Spirit, what else do we need to know at this time? From Mars retrograde in Gemini for the collective. What else? I think we'll do two of these. Yeah, okay, that's good. Good. Alright, this is no joke. We have waxing moon. The energy is gaining momentum. Yeah, that's a good spot. And we have full moon in Pisces. So moon Pisces energy around you, or Pisces in general. And moon being Pisces, yeah, is pretty strong for that energy. Moon in any water sign. Mostly Cancers, even where it's at. But the moon is also Pisces and Taurus. So some see it as Cancer. They go the astrological route. Balance spirituality and practicality. Balance, right? All right. So, let's get some signs and syncs down here real quick before we move into the oracles for guidance, okay? What else do you need to look out for? Spirit, what else do we need to look out for? What signs and syncs would be most helpful at this time? Please and thank you. We'll do 3. 4. We'll do 4. Alright, it's just reinforcing everything that has been suggested thus far. Alright, one more. Please and thank you. Alright, there we go. Alright, so the first one that came out is 2222. It's a karma reminder. Find balance and trust the universe. We also have the color pink and everything on this card. And everything on this card has been mentioned in front of us already. Harmony, unconditional love, warmth, kindness, romance, friendship, happiness, intimacy, depression relief, affection, forgiveness, reconciliation. All right. We also have the number 444, but on the shadow side, okay? It just means that whoever's in this energy is pushing too hard, or they have a desire for acknowledgement, okay? And that typically they need to work on some inner childhood wounding, going with the flow, and trusting the universe, okay? And last is red feather, okay? So wherever you see red feathers, whether it be an image of it or an actual red feather, okay? Or even if it's still attached to the bird, time of spiritual growth, gifts are appearing. So pay attention whenever you see a red feather. That might give you a direction of where to refocus, right? All right. Now, all right, I'm going to pull a few from the Mermaids deck. We're going to be pulling a lot of Oracle here. There's a lot of variety going on. All right. This is Messages from the Mermaids by Karen Kay. I'm not going to read from the book. I'm just going to go with it. Let's get a few spirit for the collective, please and thank you. Already out, we have awareness, using your discernment and intuition. and just staying aware of things. We have the waiting card. Let's do one more too. Waiting is also about just exercising patience, but if you've been waiting too long for something, it's okay to meet your ships halfway. And then you have decisions. It's all about making very definitive decisions. All right, there we go. And then we have magic. And magic is all about blessings and being gifted things. So maybe you need to pay attention to whatever's being given to you at this time, spiritually or tangibly, okay? All right. We're just going to pile it up, okay? Now we're going to get a bunch of lessons. Soul journey lessons, Spirit. What else to be on the lookout for? This could be their energy or energy around them at this time. Make sense of this madness a little bit. Good reminders. Please and thank you. All right. I love it when it just flies out. That was important. All right. I'm going to get a few here. And one more. Thank you, Spirit. All right. First one that just flew right out. Oh, of course it would be. Forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. There. We have doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. Go with the flow, right? Perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. So just keep on keeping on, right? Success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. Abundance. I'm a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. This will probably also point to the 1111 portal as well, especially, which, stay tuned, that will be coming shortly. I thought I'd do this one first. Adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn, okay? So look at everything from that transparent veil, right? There's always something beneficial on the other side. And, of course, worry. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. Okay. All right. You do have a lot of purple here, too, so that could be connected to your crown chakra or your third eye. You've got root, you've got solar plexus, heart, and sacral chakra energies here, okay? All right, next up, let's get a couple from the Unshakable Inner Peace, just so we can balance and keep everything in alignment. Okay, Spirit, any suggestions here? We'll start with that. And we'll get into more in-depth oracle. Let's do a few, please. And the numbers on these cards too may be significant too as well. All right. Here we go. First one, face up, is number 20, which breaks down to 2. Nothing real can be threatened. How can you actively participate in creating heaven on earth? We have number 4. You are the joy seeker. What little victories can you celebrate? And number 13 breaks down to 4 as well. You have 44 here, meaning protection. Breathe. This moment matters most. How can you focus on the moment and appreciate all that is well? Okay. So, I think we'll start with our gods and titans and see if there's any of that energy that needs. Given that Mars is Aries, right? Roman Aries. All right, Spirit, let's get a good shuffle on the Gods and Titans deck. We'll get a few of our dudes on the board here. Okay. What else? What energies? How can we heal? What we can worry, focus on at this time, think about, work on, etc. Let's cover all the bases. All right. Please and thank you, Spirit, for collective. All right. Ironically, Aries did not show up. Ha ha ha. So we're not paying that attention. First one up is Helios cycles. I'm just going to go ahead and cover up the back there, guys, okay? Let's get to Helios here. I'll read a little bit of it. I'm not going to read his whole story. Know that personal patterns, positive or negative, may be playing out in your life right now. Plug into the cycles of nature for renewal and vitality. Allowing the energy of Helios into your life illuminates the patterns and cycles in your life, the productive ones and the ones you would rather interrupt. And he's not on the shadow side, so we don't need to worry about that. Then we have Apuk, but he showed up in the shadow, okay? Fear. And ironically, the shadow is actually the light side in this deck. I'm going to leave him upright for you, though. Okay? He's the only one in this deck that does that. All right, Apuk. Darling, where are you? Buddy. There you are. Okay. Examine your fears. Really, what is there to be afraid of? You're being asked to confront what frightens you. All right. Should he come, fear in all its forms comes into our consciousness. What are you most afraid of? Is it real? What can we do to break the hold fear has? All these questions must be considered and answered if we are to move forward with ease and peace. On the light side, death for some is still something to be afraid of, yet it is universal that will claim us all. Apuk energy is very much about fear and the hold it has upon us. Standing strong against any fear, feeling it, shining the light on it, and confronting it are all lessons from Apuk's legend we can learn from. It is far better to act in knowledge rather than wait for fear to hunt you down. Okay? Next up, we have Poseidon. Flow. Just wanted to focus there for you. All about water and emotions, right? Also about going with the flow. Give me a sec here, guys. Expect a greater flow of creativity, fertility, or prosperity. This card is a siren call to protect and enjoy the stunning oceans of the world as well. On the shadow side, I'll go ahead and read it, but Poseidon is notoriously changeable if not respected. Whole armadas of battleships were lost if Poseidon was not on your side in times of war, and he would exact quick and lethal revenge if he chose to. So basically, going against the grain, anyone around you doing that might have some extra trouble, right? So pay attention to how flow is being played out in your life at present. Be aware that by hanging on to a grudge or an imbalance, that clean flow to what you desire will be interrupted, okay? Next up, we have Anubis, but in the shadow side, and he's about protection. I'll leave him in the upright for you. Love the design of these cards. Don't worry, guys. I have done shorts of all the legends aspects of these cards as well, because these cards have so much with them. Those will be going up over the next few months. It'll take some time. Grief and suffering are a natural part of life. Know that you are loved and protected at this time and at all times. Call upon Anubis when you or others are affected by death. Allow Anubis to relieve your grief and suffering. Know that the person who has died has a soul which Anubis is carefully protecting and watching over. So we do have some aspects of literal death going on. There may be those changes as well during this time. Could also just be very strong endings as well, all right? And on the shadow side, death is something that will inevitably happen to all of us sooner or later. The fear of losing our life, of death itself, is still very strong. Should our fear of the unknown, the fear of death itself, become so strong that it dictates our life, this is a limiting force. Death is a part of life and should be seen as such. And in Egyptian culture, they continue it on further and have you ushered into the afterlife, okay? There's a lot that they believe in as well. They actually had more gods for death than a lot. The Mayans did too. Aztecs as well, I noticed. All right, so let's get anything else we need to be aware of. We're going to work all the dark aspects first and go into the positive. Transmutation. All right. Let's get a few from Nyx, please. Good. For the collective, what do we need to know about? What do we be aware of at this time? All right, that's good. Thank you. first up, we have the Warrior, number 2. Okay. 34 breaks down to a 7, Trapped. Number 38 breaks down to an 11, Deceit, Neferet. Number 39 breaks down to a 12, which breaks down to a 3, Success. Trying to find spots for these. All right. Number 35 breaks down to an 8, Strength. Okay. Where can we put you? I'm going to stick you right here. Can you see that? All right, good. All right, the Warrior. When the Warrior appears to you, it is such a fortunate sign that no matter what is happening to you in your life, you are truly protected. Whatever you're experiencing right now, all will be well. Friendship and love are sacred, and these qualities are important for a relationship to grow. If this person does not have these qualities, then move on, for I will send you someone with a true warrior spirit. Life is about learning and discerning who is true and who is not. There's another message here. Do you embody these qualities in yourself? Now is a good time to think about how committed you are to your path. Number 34, Trapped. Do you feel if you're trapped in your life right now? Do you sense that you cannot do what you really want to do because others have expectations of you that you may not be able to fulfill? Do you feel as if you'll never get what you want or go where you want to go? Have patience, for truly you are in a temporary prison that exists in your mind. And we did talk about mental entrapment and imprisonment earlier on. So there may be individuals around you, okay? Or this could be you. Your circumstances, no matter what they are, will change. And you will be free to experience the life you wish to lead. In these times, dreaming is the best antidote. And of course, patience. Consider the story of the half-raven boy trapped in conflict until he finally follows his heart. You will be shown when the cage doors are open so that you can fly free. Okay? So just pay attention. 38, Deceit. Be careful about your motives in making choices, as well as those around you making choices. In the house of the ninth, there is one who betrayed herself and all those who looked up to her. Someone may be stabbing you in the back, so be aware of that situation if that's the case, if that's your circumstance. Regardless of the circumstances of your question, I warn you about deceit. There will be a price to pay for betrayal in all forms. Only you know how much it will cost. That said, although the energy of betrayal can be seductive, they are stronger. You are stronger, okay? Of course, it comes from, the goddess Nyx. Always talking to you first person. All right. 39. We went from 38 to 39. There's some progression there, okay? Achieved success and accomplishments are yours now, okay? You are in a position to reap the rewards of your hard work. Being true to yourself and refusing to compromise will yield good things. This requires you to keep working hard, lest you lose the knowledge you have gained. Do not slack off. Keep going. Celebrate even the smallest victory, okay? Be proud of yourself. Remember, everything you choose now will become to realize. Choose wisely. Number 35, Strength. Sometimes life will present you with challenges that you think are too difficult to endure. Be strong. Drawing this symbol means that no matter what is happening in your life, you have the strength to endure all experiences. Like an ancient oak whose trunk cannot be uprooted by the mightiest storm. You will know a strength that comes from within. You will win this game. You have the strength to face any situation now. All right, so you have the tools you need for this. Whatever you need in this. We are going to move right along to Oracle the Shapeshifters. We'll just get a couple, okay? I am aiming to make this less than an hour. All right. Told you it was going to be long. We got one more deck after this, okay? We're going to also pull some mantras at the end. Let's get 2, Spirit, from Oracle the Shapeshifters 5. Lucy Cavendish, please. What else do we need to know? Any other guidance? Thank you. All right, we got 3. Spirit's like, nope, we're going to do this. First one out, Number 20, Elizabeth and the Lion. It is time to become a great leader. You must make a stirring speech, manage a troubled group of people, face a great threat, and somehow manage with meager resources. You are a leader. You will triumph if you remember the flow of blood that runs through you has courage and staying power. Again, with that strength, right? You're going to need that. Nothing will make you back down. You will hold out, outwit, and come to victory again and again. Understand that, at present, what you represent has immense symbolic power. You must dress and speak the part, and for a time you must put your energy toward a much greater cause. There are people and beings who rely on your example. You will be promoted, and with this great new blessing will come great responsibility. You are up for the challenge, again and again. Like it or not, you're a leader. Now show you can be a great one. All right, the next card out is number 23. Quetzalcoatl and the Priestess of Time. The time has come. The time to act is now. So act, 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 right? When it's time to act, it's time to act. No diddle-dalling through this energy. This energy is going to outpace you if you don't keep up or get ahead of it, right? Let's just read the message, okay? Will you shift your consciousness? Will you change deliberately despite the fear and the others who tell you that you are wrong? Will you move away from fighting, opposition, the either-or mentality, and shift into a beingness that allows for a much greater reality? The time is now. That is all you need to know, but there is much that you must do. A deliberate effort to move away from navel-gazing and procrastination will transform into a determination to become through doing, thinking, being, sharing, and insisting on the new reality's truths for you. It is time to embrace a new standard of excellence and to make that your creed. Do not wait for another heartbeat. And the last card that came out is Bats in the Belfry. You can achieve great things. All right, there we go. Get her to focus a little. All right. Through the choices you have made, you have managed to actively show that it is possible to do what others once insisted could not be done. You have clearly shown that the miracle that is your life is a result of the decisions you made to no longer be limited by fear and conditioning. You have been so brave. The choices before you now are expansive. Don't become too lightheaded. Consult yourself and heed the advice of others who have broken free and are flying high. Take the advice of those who have dared to achieve their dreams, not those who suggest you stay safe by never daring to dream at all. And last but not least, we are going to pull from the Ancestor Spirit Oracle cards. I'm just going to go ahead and make this quick off camera. Pause for a sec. Got them shuffled. Let's pull. Spirit, what guidance do you have for the collective at this time? Let's get a few. You have awakened your inner shaman. Connect, invoke, and heal. You have nature spirits, elves, fairies, rock formations. And you have courage, strength, fearlessness, warrior. Go ahead and stick these right here. We'll go ahead and read. And I'm being guided to read both the ancestor guidance as well as the additional. All right. Awaken your inner shaman. The path of the shaman calls to you. Focus on your connection with the earth, animals, and nature spirits. Whoever you are or wherever you come from, the shamanic way is open to you. Shamans can be male or female and come from many cultures around the world. A healer, seer, or shaman in your ancestry may have passed their gift or special knowledge to you. If you do not know your family lineage, dig deep and ask the universe to help you discover your ancestor spirits. Continue to connect with the earth, nature, and animal spirits, and you will uncover your ancestral link. You can then tap into the spiritual knowledge and further develop your gifts. Keep in mind, not just this lifetime, past lives too. You're a natural healer and hold the ability to connect the restorative light of the universe for yourself and others. It is time to embrace or further your healing path. You have been using these gifts for a long time, over many lifetimes. Each person heals in their own way. You may use words, your hands, or energy to nurture others. Explore different aspects and modalities of the healing arts, such as massage, Reiki, or something that opens you as a channel for rejuvenating energy. You can use anything you learn to benefit yourself and others. When you are healing others, surround yourself with golden light so you do not become drained. When you are ready, invoke the healing energy of the shaman and pass your knowledge on to others. Nature spirits. There we are. All about the Huda folk. To connect with the Huda folk or elves, go into a quiet place in nature, especially somewhere with boulders or rock formations. Sit quietly, psychically protect yourself, close your eyes, and pay attention to what you feel. You may be surprised at what you experience. You may even see light orbs floating around you with your physical eyes or your third eye. See if you notice any movement or shadows around the rocks. Be open to receiving messages from the Huda folk. When you are ready to go home, respect the natural environment by thanking the local Huda folk or elves. Pay attention to what you see and sense when you're out in nature. As wild as it sounds, you're being called to connect with them, okay? Respect the wilderness as a home for being seen and unseen. This card also may suggest that someone doesn't want to be disturbed. Respect their space and let them come to you. Have courage. The ancestors say that you are stronger than you think. Persevere and do not give in to fear. You have the full support of the universe. You are not alone. Believe in yourself and your strength. You can weather this storm. Mars retrograde storm. Even though you can't see it yet, there is a wonderful rainbow waiting for you on the other side of this trying situation. So whatever storms are ahead, if you need to batten down the hatches, you got this, okay? Weather the storm. Right now, the most important thing you can do is trust in yourself and the universe. Dig deep within your soul. Keep focused on what is needed to move through or fix a challenge. Then step forward with positive intent. You've been through a lot in your life, and this obstacle won't stop you now. Stand firm. Draw strength from all that is important to you, and be warrior-like. Know that you can do this. And with that, I'm going to pull a few mantras for you guys. Spirit wants that. A few sounds right? Okay. Or whatever comes out. All right, we'll see. And of course, these could be keywords as to where to focus as well. Honey sometimes uses decks for that as well as just amazing things to vocalize and have positive intent, right? Positive manifestation is good. So you may want to write these down if you want to use them later during this retrograde, okay? Or mark the time, 52:44. Okay. Here we go. Spirit, what mantras can be beneficial to the collective at this time during Mars retrograde in Gemini? All right, I guess it's going to be 4. All right. First one, I attract the positivity of others because I feel deepest calm and comfort in my inner and outer self. Let me get that closer to you in case you need to read it. Can you read that? All right. Second up, I am here on Mother Earth to learn and experience. Everything I experience is feedback from life. If I don't like my experiences, I am free to create something new. Third, I am inspired to express my ideas and thoughts. I am abundantly creative. There we go. And last but not least, I rebound quickly with resilience from all previous setbacks because I let go of all old limitations. There you go, guys. And if you need more resources for healing, check out all the meditation playlists. There's a ton of them, okay? And a lot of the how-tos have stuff, and you know, the helpful videos from others as well are there as for any time you need it, okay? So if you need something to look up specifically, I try to be as across the board with everything as possible, okay? So if you come across an issue during this retrograde, check it out, okay? And also check out any other energetic shifts during this time as well, like such as any new moon phases or full moon. You also have the portals as well. There's going to be quite a few portals during this time. So I will be posting those up pretty soon here. I know I took a break from the last new moon and eclipse just because I needed to. But I'm going to continue forward with it. All right, it's all in the playlist for you guys. And check out the channels list too of others. There's a lot there that can be helpful, both learning and just growing, and lots of healing channels over there as well. All right, have a good one. Hopefully, we'll survive this Mars retrograde, I promise. Love you guys.